Hi everybody, Natasha Koch here with the Van City Home Team. And we're going to do a little impromptu live for you today because unfortunately we can't do the Van City Scoop tomorrow because I'm in a course. And so I thought I would just jump on here and talk about a subject that I know everybody loves and hates to talk about. So we might as well get it out in the open so that we can clear up any misconceptions of taxes. So when you're buying a home, some of the tax implications and things that you need to look out for. Hi Ken, hi Hank, thanks for joining. So BC, meaning British Columbia, for those of you that are not in British Columbia, these are the tax implications for BC only, not other areas. But the BC government decided actually to do some changes. So they're going to take some measures to avoid tax evasion. So we're going to talk about a little bit about tax evasion and how they've gone about doing this and what was happening to start with. Hi, Paul. Thanks for joining. So what people were doing before, they were buying a property, or some people, not all people, but previous buyers would purchase a property in a trust. Then they would have a corporation own shares in that trust. Then they would sell the shares in the corporation and transfer the beneficial ownership of the property without changing the title. And so that would then avoid paying the transfer tax. So there is a transfer tax when you purchase a property. And so they are not able to do that any longer. So they've closed the loophole, and how they've done that with the new rules are you have to disclose the name of the buyer and the date of birth and their citizenship, as well as their full contact information, tax identification number, which is your business number or your social insurance number, etc. And then both, and this actually applies to both commercial and residential. So it's really important to know that because a lot of the tax laws that we have mainly pertain to residential, but this actually pertains to both commercial and residential. Hi Jan and hi Nathan, thanks for joining. So along with that, there are other taxes that you should be aware of in their 30-point system. I'm not going to mention 30 different taxes, but I will mention a few. So let's talk about the speculation tax. So we have a new speculation tax in BC, and basically the purpose of this tax, which is 2%, by the way, so that adds up to a lot when you've got a high property value like we do here. But basically the point of it is for people that are purchasing in an upswing of the market, that have a prediction that the market is going to increase, and they purchase it just to wait until that increase happens. So they are basically speculating that the property values are going to rise, and so they have implemented a 2% tax in order to stop people from doing that, I guess. If you own your property for a rental, purpose, or if you're occupying it, then you're exempt from that tax. I am looking into a question that recently came to me, which is if you have forgotten to file or if you've forgotten to disclose that you're actually living in the property and the time has lapsed and you've been charged that tax, whether or not you have a right to dispute it. I would imagine that you do, because obviously if you can prove that you were living in the property, or if you had a renter in the property, then you would not be responsible for that payment. Hi Jeff and hi Doug and hi Celia. Thanks for joining. Wow, lots of people. Hey Jamie. Okay, foreign buyers tax. So foreign buyers tax is a big one. Actually, I've got a few extra details on the foreign buyers tax implications. This is pretty big in BC especially because it's 20%. So 20% on a property that's worth $5 million is $1 million in tax. So it's very important, especially for us realtors and for those of you out there that are making purchases. Now it applies to, the tax does not apply if you're a Canadian citizen, obviously. It also doesn't apply if you're a permanent resident. And it also, there's a registered provincial program that is online that you can check if your clients or if you yourself can be registered for it. If you're doing some work here on a contractual basis, it wouldn't apply to those people as well. So those are the three that would be exempt. Yes, 20%. I know, lots of money. So now this particular tax only applies to residential property. So if you have a foreign purchaser that is buying commercial or industrial property, it does not, it doesn't apply to them. So, or it doesn't apply to commercial or industrial. Hi, Natasha, my same name. Thanks for joining, and Alan. So areas, now this has changed. So it's progressing to larger areas. It was for the Greater Vancouver area, Capital Regional District, so Greater Victoria, Fraser Valley, so Abbotsford, Mission area, and that out in the valley, Nanaimo on the island, as well as Landsville, so the district, and Kelowna and West Kelowna. So quite a large area of foreign purchase tax. So there is a refund. I'm not exactly sure how long it takes to get it, but there is a refund that if you have applied for your PR, your permanent resident status, that you can get a refund if it happens to be, if you obtain your residency within a year. So I'm not sure how long it takes to get it back, but you can definitely apply to have it returned. Okay, so we talked about speculation tax. We've talked about foreign purchase tax. Let's talk about increased property taxes in general. So property taxes have gone up. However, the people that are most affected are the higher priced properties, because anything that properties that are more than 3 million are paying, instead of 3%, they're now paying 5% taxes. Sorry, if your property values have gone up, then you have to pay more tax. I know it doesn't seem fair, but the government feels different. So increased property tax school rate, same thing, up to over $3 million properties valued at over $3 million, 2% increase in their rate for school tax. And then anything over 4 million is actually a 4% increase. So for those of you that fall under the $3 million mark, you can be grateful to those that are paying the extra tax for school. Sales tax. So this is another one for short-term rentals. This is a topic that I really would love to touch upon in more detail, and that's specifically Airbnb rentals. So in popular places like Vancouver, Airbnb rentals are quite popular. So the government has definitely put in some extra taxes, 8% PST and 3% MRDT, which is municipal and regional district tax. So if you are doing or are considering doing any kind of Airbnb rentals, first of all, of course, check to see if your area allows them. If there's any prohibiting of Airbnb rentals with your strata if you're in a condominium. And of course, keep in mind to price it effectively, because you're going to have to accommodate for the extra tax. So hopefully you find this tax information helpful. I'm definitely not an accountant. I am a realtor, but I do feel that it's our responsibility as the general public and as realtors to advise our clients effectively, so that when they do make a decision to purchase, you know the background of their decision, and you can advise them to at least seek legal advice or accounting advice on the tax implications. So I will see everybody next week for the Van City Scoop, and I'm going to be in a course, like I said, all weekend, so I won't be appearing for my live tomorrow. So I thought I would do an interesting enough topic. Hopefully you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Have a great weekend, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.